easier. So that's why I'm adding my phone with some notes. So the interesting thing which people use ask, and that's the topic that I'm going to talk about in a few minutes. Is that I'm just like anyone who studying masters or undergrad and going to work, right? And then once you go to work, you have your culture, work culture, and then so how do you keep in touch with your roots? But at the same time, particularly case like me, where I make video games. So I'm in a modern industry which is like really, really new and it's flourishing. But at the same time, it has nothing to do with religion. So a lot of people used to ask, oh, you go to Hindu stuff, you do prayers and everything. But at the same time, you make video games which are violent. So how does everything come into picture? How do you make sure you are able to follow both things? So that was the question which everyone used to ask, and I think this opportunity here for me kind of gives me an opening to address that and what I do personally, but at the same time to explain what challenges we as a whole face in general and in following our tradition. So I'm going to talk about a set of challenges which we face, and then at the end I actually want to talk about my approach on how we can address those challenges. So the first thing is that just like Gautam Chopra told, people used to, like, only after I came here, people used to ask me, oh, are you religious or are you spiritual? And just like him, or probably many of us, you just don't know the answer. And people think if you are religious, it's wrong, or it's something to be that people need to keep distance. The interesting thing is being spiritual and being religious, especially when it comes to Hinduism, is that Hinduism, as they call it, is a way of living. So it's Sanatana Dharma. So if you are living by moral values, then it doesn't matter whether you're part of a religion or not. And that's what they call spiritual. So when I was looking for definitions for spirituality, they used to say, oh, religion can be part of it or maybe not. But the thing is, even if you're an atheist, you have your own principles. You don't believe in God, but at the same time you do good to people. Or you follow you do your work properly. And we used to say, work is God. So you are following moral values. That means there is no exact classification of being religious or being spiritual. But then probably it came from the way where people actually talk about religion in a way where they force you into some rules and regulations, and if you don't do something, then you are doing something. The second thing is actually understanding the practices you do. For example, going to something, or even praying, or going to the temple. So the interesting thing is I came from a really, really orthodox family, and I grew up in a place where I was surrounded by monks, because that's the area I was brought up with. And then slowly as I progressed, like in college I started meeting people from different religions, but then not that close. And then I came here where I meet people from different countries, following different styles of religion. And actually, it even gave me the opportunity to meet people from the north, which I didn't meet that much till I went to college. And I realized that there are so many intricate differences in the way we follow the same religion. We all say, oh yeah, we're Hindu, we pray Lord Ganesh, we do this, we do that. But then it started from very, very simple differences, where in South, Lord Ganesh is a bachelor. Whereas in the north, Lord Ganesh is married. So it came from small differences like that, but at the end of the day, like everyone's Hindu, so we all celebrated Ganesh Chaturthi together, and so that's the thing. So then I started looking at things where people used to ask me like, oh, how do you do this? Are you, did you learn it by self? Did you learn from some guru or whatever? And then I realized that every practice which we do in religion is actually a way to discipline ourselves, as opposed to saying that if something is hard work, it's unique. And that's the exact reason why a prayer came into the picture, God came into the picture, where if you have faith in God, then, or faith in anyone, for example, anyone who is an absolute man will say, oh, Steve Jobs is God. Steve Jobs is God, he's doing this, he's doing that. But then God is nothing but an inspirational figure. It's a way, it's a person, or it's a path which you want to lead. I want to be like Bill Gates, or I want to be like Steve Jobs, I want to be whoever. And it can even be, oh, I want to be like my father, or I want to be like my mother. And that's the exact reason why our philosophy says everyone is God. Because you can be anyone who you want. Or you yourself can be the person who other people want. So that's the way we understand our religious practices. And it shouldn't be taken as a religion. It should be taken as a discipline. The third thing is actually the faith. Every religion revolves around faith. And even atheism revolves around faith, that you don't believe that there is God. And faith in religion is equal to faith in yourself. The goal is to do good, is to be good, and is to do good to other people. And even if you don't do good to anyone, make sure you don't harm him. And that's the way you go. So the faith in religion is nothing but faith in yourself. The fourth challenge is to actually admire similarities and differences with other religions. The one thing that I used to mention during Diwali is that there was a similar incident which is quoted in the Muslim discipline about how some asura or some devils are killed, and Ramzan kind of happens really close to Diwali. So I used to say that, oh, maybe it's the same event, but then a group of people in one part of the world said, oh, it's Allah who's doing this, but at the same time, in the other part of the world, we say, oh, Krishna, Rama. So it's really important to admire the similarity of religions, because if you do that, you can realize that every religion is actually preaching the same message. So it doesn't matter which religion you follow, but then you eventually follow either one of them to ensure you are doing good. And the final challenge, which probably I realized only after coming here, is the fact that I started, if someone talks about something, about some email which they got, there used to be a time where I used to read an email and then say, oh, I used to immediately start spreading that information to some of my friends. Like, oh, I got this email that there's NASA satellite images which showed the bridge which was built by Ram or Hanuman during the war, and they used to show all the pictures. So there came a moment where if the period of time when I was in India, not being a little bit more interested in understanding stuff, is the fact that I used to spread that information immediately without even looking at how legitimate it is, where is the official article or whatever. And then once I came here, I started, when people used to ask me this question, I used to start looking at into internet for more information. And then I realized that some of them were hoax. It was primarily to, there is no official article. It doesn't mean that it didn't happen, but then there was no official statement from any organization or anything about that bridge. But at the same time, there's a lot of emails which used to get spread about, Hinduism is dying. We need to start getting everyone who got converted from Hinduism, converted from Hinduism back into Hinduism. And there used to be a lot of like extremistic emails also which I've seen, which was something which I would have not bothered much before. So getting reliable information and trying to understand how you want to take things forward is a really, really big challenge. So way to address, I used to call it the life. L is for learn about your traditions and your friends' traditions. I is to intricately understand the religious meaning and practical advantages of following it. And that's the exact reason why I used to have a lot of arguments with my parents and family members that I am not religious, I am practically religious. Where I look at religion in a logical standpoint. It might undo some of the beliefs, it might undo some of the practices, but end of the day, it's giving a logical meaning to what I do. So it's very important to intricately understand the meaning behind some of the practices. And then F is to follow them to a point where it doesn't disturb anyone. So if I say I'm going to do a prayer, and then I'm putting it in a loudspeaker and trying to disturb the whole campus, that's not something that I want to follow. If I want to pray, yes, I want to pray, I'll do it there. If there are a group of people who are interested in participating, they can be with me. But at the same time, it should never ever disturb anyone else. Until then, following any practices in religion is fine. And anyone else, in the sense, it is any creature. It's not just humans. And then E is to experience the tradition. So till you follow any of the traditions or steps which people tell you, there is no way you can experience it. And till you don't experience something, there is no way you have enough information about it. So that's there. And then even though it's grammatically wrong, I put a bracket and an S, which is probably the most important thing, which is to share your experience with others. And I used to I learned a very, very famous Sanskrit quote when I was in 5th grade or something, which states as follows. It's called Apurvaha Koti Koshoyam Vidyate Nama Bharati Yayato Vritti Mayati Shayamaya Samshya. It means, oh goddess of learning, you have given me such a big treasure. Something, if I share, it increases. And something which I keep it stored, it just perishes. And that is our knowledge and experience. So anything which you do, anything which you practice, is always to share. It can offend people, offend people who are pretty rigid, including the parents. But at the same time, when you share and when you can understand certain facts, it helps you become a better person. And that's the way I think we can address these challenges. Thank you.